you guys better get your act together, pull your heads out of your butts, and stop effing around. Israel is not going to attack Iran. Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now.
I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when they say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either.
Final blows. Trump scolded Israel and Iran, saying, you guys better get your act together, pull your heads out of your butts, and stop effing around, more or less. And he posted several things on Truth before he came out with a burner today. Everybody's talking about it. Trump saying they don't know what the F they're doing. So children out there, it's now official from your president that sometimes it's necessary to drop an expletive. They really don't know what they're doing and you're trying to avoid World War III. But that's the only condition. If you're president and you're trying to avoid World War III, youth of America, it's the only time that you can drop the F-bomb. But the president is going to do that today. We're going to listen to it. Says Trump on Truth. Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. You hear us, Israeli pilots? Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Trump dropped that one today, 4:30 in the morning, up early. That's my time. Now, thank you for your attention to this matter, the President of the United States. Don't you drop those bombs. Don't you launch those missiles, Israel. Don't even think about it. Just wave and go home. Trump's got a little inspiration from Judge Boasberg. Turn those planes around, and Israel must abide. He said in another post, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Donald Trump, President of the United States. So he's not playing around, right? Dad just laid down the law. Says Donald Trump, we couldn't have made today's deal without the talent and courage of our great B-2 pilots, or B-52 pilots if you're an uneducated show host, and all of those associated with that operation. In a certain and very ironic way, that perfect hit late in the evening brought everyone together, and the deal was made. That's why, because it was so beautiful of a strike. He says, look, idiots, the ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it. This was last night. Please do not violate it. Trump, President of the United States. And he's just been on a tear today, so he's been dropping those. He also came out and had a full conversation with the press about this. We'll come to that in a second. But he's been dropping. Let's see what else he's got dropped for us here on this one. A longshoreman post. Here was one from Mark Levin, who's probably unhappy about a lot of this right now because I think he wanted total regime change and probably boots on the ground. He says, Bill Clinton, we are determined to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. 1995. Yeah, I know. And they're like, it's going to happen any minute, like 3 years. They're going to have weapons. Like by the year 2000, they're going to have nukes. Pfft, didn't happen. George Bush, Iran must not be allowed to develop nuclear weapons, period. 2006. And we're going to do everything we can to stop them because they're going to have weapons by 2010. We're all going to die. Didn't happen. Barack Obama, I have stated that Iran will never be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. 2015. We're going to die by 2020, whatever the argument was, right? And never happened. Joe Biden, same thing in 2022, now 2025. Trump has it. Trump reposting Charlie Kirk. No nukes, no troops, no U.S. troops dead, no regime change, no nation building, no war. Trump has taught the world a historic masterclass. And I think that is true. I mean, if this all holds, like, woo, that was a Hail Mary, baby. It was the thread the needle. It was the analogy that we gave in construction where you're like, all right, just drop the thing on the thing and it's going to hold. Just open the valve. It's not going to blow. Just hit the breaker. I connected it right. Are you sure? Yeah, just flip the breaker. I know, but just do it. Click. And everybody's fine. It worked. See, everything lit up. Chill out. I know what I'm doing. Everybody was freaked out. But look, everything worked out. Presumably, we'll see if it continues on. So Trump is even reposting Guac Bowl Jeb. Ooh, wow, that's amazing. Says, even Guac Bowl Jeb said President Trump's decision to neutralize Iran's regime is a watershed moment. It reasserts U.S. strength, restores deterrence, and sends an unmistakable message to rogue regimes. The era of impunity is over. Here's my statement. With united against nuclear Iran. See, that makes me start to doubt. Like if Jeb Bush endorses it, I'm like, Jeb Bush? W's brother? The guy who got us into Iraq and Afghanistan for 25 years? All right. Thanks, Jeb, for endorsing this. Friedman is talking about it. Trump says Biden and what he did to this country should never be forgotten. Talking about some debt stuff and more. Just minutes ago. He said, both Israel and Iran wanted to stop the war equally. It was my great honor to destroy all nuclear facilities and capability and then stop the war, which is all good. Trump should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize over the ceasefire. Already been nominated to the Norwegian Nobel Committee, which is a joke. So Trump has been on a tear this morning, man. Every time we come back, it's just there's new posts. Mike Huckabee has been a great ambassador to Israel. 2 hours ago, he said, now that we have made peace abroad, we must finish the job. Get the big, beautiful bill done. Get it on my desk ASAP. Going to be a historic present for the great people of the United States of America. Back to business. We are finally entering our golden age. And we're done. We just got this out of the way. It's just like, January 6th pardons. Like some people like, well, I don't know. Just do it. Get it over with. We know better. This was a corrupt prosecution and a setup by the DOJ. So just get over it, all right? They're pardoned and just get over it. And we're now like 6 months in. Trump's kind of doing this. All right, we got to bomb Iran for whatever reason, just to, satisfy or okay. So they got bombed, no nukes, sold to America. That's the end of it. Great. Let's come back domestic and stateside and solve our problems here. We begin the celebration of our country's 250th birthday. We are finally entering our golden age, which will bring unprecedented safety, security, and prosperity for all of our citizens. To my friends in the Senate, lock yourself in a room if you got to do it. Get the deal done this week. Work with the House so they can pass it immediately. No one goes on vacation until it's done. Do you hear us, Mike Johnson? Everyone, most importantly, the American people, will be much better off to work together, make America great again. And if you think you're going to be leaving, we have more bunker busters. Stupid AOC, says Trump. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the dumbest people in Congress, is now calling for my impeachment, despite the fact that the crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before and failed both times. The reason for her rantings is all of the victories that the USA has had under the Trump administration. The Democrats aren't used to winning, and she can't stand the concept of our country being successful again. When we examine her test scores, we will find out that she is not qualified for office, but nevertheless, far more qualified than Crockett, who is a seriously low IQ individual who we've already endorsed for the Democratic nominee, or Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country, yet the failed country that she comes from doesn't have a government, is drenched in crime and poverty, and is rated one of the worst in the world. And now she's importing their people and their flag into our country. If it's even rated at all, how dare the mouse, oh, who's that, tell us how to run the United States of America? Is that AOC? Yeah, she kind of resembles a little mouse. We're just now coming back from that radical left experiment with Sleepy Joe, Kamala, and the auto pen in charge. What a disaster that was. AOC should be forced to take the cognitive test that I just completed at Walter Reed Medical Center as part of my physical. As the doctor in charge said, President Trump aced it, meaning I got every answer right. Instead of her constant complaining, Alexandria should go back home to Queens, where I was also brought up, and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets in the district she, quote, represents, and which she never goes to anymore. She better start worrying about her own primary before she thinks about beating our great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, whose career is definitely on very thin ice. Our great Palestinian senator. She and her Democrat friends have just hit the lowest poll numbers in congressional history, so go ahead and try impeaching me. Make my day, AOC and the rest of them in the squad, aka the mouse. Now, here's the New York Times reporting that the shaky ceasefire takes hold. Trump's dropping those truths out there. He's like, don't you drop a bomb or you're all grounded and you're not having dessert for 2 weeks. Live updates. Shaky ceasefire takes hold. Trump lashed out at both Iran and Israel for launching attacks after this case. I think he lashed out a little bit more at Israel. He lashed out at Israel and Iran in expletive-laced remarks to reporters. Mr. Trump said he was not happy. He sharply criticized Israel for firing on Iran right after we made the deal. Why did they do that? And said that the two adversaries didn't know what the F they were doing. A White House official said that Trump had spoken with Benjamin of Israel on Tuesday morning and was firm and direct with Benji about what needed to happen to sustain a ceasefire. You listen to me, Benjamin. Mr. Netanyahu's office said that Iran had fired missiles after the ceasefire took effect. Well, we were responding to them. And that the Israeli military had retaliated by striking a radar system near Tehran. Iran's military denied violating the ceasefire, but Netanyahu's statement indicated no, our retaliation was just responding to them, so they launched first. That appeared to suggest that the two sides, both of whom which claimed it prevailed in the conflict, they want the truth to hold. And a True Social post said, Israel is not going to attack. All their planes will turn around and head home. Mr. Trump's comments came before he left for Washington over the weekend. Global reaction, trading fire, diplomacy, all the things. Al Green of Texas is joining AOC, Occasional Cortex, and they're having a hard time, coming up with a new prospective policy for America. So they just turned back to the default, which is really what they do. It's just attack Trump because they've got no other creativity. But he's going to be introducing articles of impeachment. All right, and that's the gist of it. So it's holding at the moment. Here was the president today taking questions from the press about this and other issues before he headed out of the country to Norway. All right, Mr. President.
I don't think so, but I'm not happy that Israel's going out now. There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed its target. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. Ridiculous.
How will you respond if the ceasefire is fired?
I didn't like plenty of things I saw yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal. They didn't have to unload. And I didn't like the fact that retaliation was very strong. But in all fairness, Israel unloaded a lot. And now I hear Israel just went out because they felt it was violated by one rocket that didn't land anywhere. That's not what we want, I'll tell you. And I'm telling you, I'm not happy about that, Israel, either. All I do is play both sides. I'm going now, as you know, to NATO. Some of you are going with me, and I think it's going to be successful. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Are you going to see the agreement? It's a new dawn in the Middle East. Thanks to the agreement you managed to achieve. What are your future plans for the region, for Saudi Arabia, Israel, Gaza, the hostages?
Look, you're asking me about women in the Middle East. It's getting a lot better. Things are happening at a high level. Saudi Arabia's done a really good job. It's coming out far faster than I thought. So we're very happy about what's happening with women in the Middle East.
No, I'm talking about a new dawn in the Middle East that you managed to achieve last night.
Yeah.
The region is going to a new place with this agreement. Can you tell us what's your future plans for Gaza, for the hostages?
Yeah. It's a new dawn. I appreciate the question. You're very nice. Who are you?
Thank you. I'm Maria Kraus from Israeli Channel 13 News.
Well, we have to have Israel calm down because they went on a mission this morning.
Yeah, tell us.
I got to get Israel to calm down now.
Did you get to speak with the Prime Minister? Did you talk to Prime Minister Netanyahu last night?
I speak to everybody.
You urge both sides not to violate the ceasefire, but reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
Have you spoken to him this morning? How confident are you that Iran is going to take the
I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all. And frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean.
Do you believe that Iran can rebuild its nuclear program?
No, Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are.
True.
Israel says that the
You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it.
Yeah, Jake.
I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people. And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
Thank you, Mr. President, for saying that.
Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed to peace?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before.
Israel?
The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either.
Final blows.
But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Mr. President, mic drop! Boom! Whoa, spicy moment there. You just want to let that one hang. Media's sitting there going, did he just say the F word? Did you catch that? Meltdown behind him. It's almost like you can't see it right now, but you know those scenes from like Mission Impossible where Tom Cruise like walking away from the building after the C4 explosive that they just attached to the side of the bad guy's facade. He then walks away, puts the glasses on. Behind him, giant explosions in the background. That just happened. He just got on the airplane. Stephen Chung came out. Happy birthday to Stephen. I think it was his birthday yesterday, I saw. And hopping aboard Marine One to take off to the Netherlands. So thank you, Mr. President, for that exchange. Of course, the airplane then up, helicopter up, and away. As beautiful as it can be. So Trump heading on out, but not before saying they don't know what the F they're doing and they just need to stop it. And yeah, it's a little bit distasteful to say after the dude has tapped out, okay? Like you're tapped out. You're both tapped out. You're both separated. One guy still runs back to the other side. So gets a couple final blows in. The bell rang, all right? The bell rang. Game's over. Stop trying to get extra shots on goal or extra punches in. The round's over. So Trump making that known and really criticizing both sides a bit, but Iran launched like some pea shooter and then Israel just like, oh, okay, how about this? And went hard. So we'll see if Trump can hold the ceasefire. The New York Times with their latest updates saying congressional briefings from White House intelligence officials on U.S. strikes in Iran have been postponed, according to the two people. House and Senate members were expecting to receive a classified briefing on Tuesday, but that's not going to happen. Now, they both deny violating this nascent truce, offering their own version of events. Trump criticized, Israelis say, we didn't do anything wrong. Iranians say, we didn't do anything wrong. Trump knows what happened, and he's going to be holding their feet to the fire. And I saw a great comment earlier in the chat. My apologies, I forgot who I saw it from. But this is Dad saying, I'm gonna pull the car over, which was hilarious as well. So you can see Trump just saying, look, I'm in charge. I'm driving this bus. You guys are along for the ride. You better comply with this truce or else. And I think this is a response in many ways. There was a lot of criticism against Trump, saying that Trump was being led astray, right? Trump was kind of following in the footsteps or being dog walked by Netanyahu, just like, like on a collar, on a leash. You're just going to do this and you do this and you do this. And it doesn't sound like that's the case at all anymore, which I think is where a lot of the tension on this whole issue was. It was, is this actually in U.S. interests, or is this in Israeli interests, or is this in this new made-up category of U.S.-Israeli interests, like somehow kind of a country that's the same country, but not really, and like we're all kind of like interwoven together, but not really. And if it is the latter, then you have concerns about that, because if you want to be America first, then you shouldn't really be considering what other countries want out of you, even if you can make some sort of tangential argument that it does benefit your country as well. And when Trump then puts pressure back on the Israelis to say, look, we did what we needed to do to stop the nuclear threat. That's it. Like, we're not going to continue to do this so you can get regime change or just continue to essentially kick a man when the round is over. We don't appreciate that. So we'll see what Trump does. I'm sure Benjamin is not having a happy morning today over there, but we hope the peace holds. And it's almost like Trump threw a Hail Mary on the Middle East and nailed it. He threw it and ran down the field and caught it because nobody else wanted to even consider it. And they got it done for now. Hopefully it holds.